Hey, what's up, good people? Yeah, it's Eric Taylor, Taylor 2 Coaching. I am back. I told you I was going to do it. It's been a minute. It's been a lot to get to shoot this today, but I'm starting my Pluto series. Okay, and I'm starting with Pluto in Virgo. Eric Taylor, Taylor 2 Coaching. And Pluto, we're talking about Hades, the underworld, right? Pluto rules the 8th house in modern Western tropical astrology. I use the whole sign system. Pluto's a generational planet. The Pluto generations, I'll go through, it's like 248 years. It's uneven. It will be in some planets for 11, 12 years, some 25, right? In Capricorn, it's like 08 to 2024. So it varies, but we'll go around the zodiac. Pluto is transformation. It is death and rebirth. Not always the physical death, more spiritual, emotional, karmic, literal, right? This is a karmic transformative planet that covers the scope of generations and has a deep influence, right? So it's debt, taxes, inheritance, other people's money, right? It's the power system, cloak and dagger, secret societies, secrets, hidden knowledge and subjects. So yes, you have the astrology, the occult, all the metaphysics, tarot, numerology, white magic, black magic. But we're also talking about that thin veil. Not exactly the spiritual realm the way Pisces is, but this is sort of that spiritual veil of the dark versus the light, right? That yin yang, the polarity, okay? We're talking about sex, transformation, healing, okay, psychology, surgery. This is deep. The merging of souls. All right. This generation, Pluto and Virgo, and I'm starting here. I'm going to bounce around. But you'll see why I'm starting with Pluto and Virgo. Not only is it my placement, but it's very powerful. And it's going to connect with other generations, replacing one generation in terms of what it's supposed to do compared to it helping another generation, okay? So Pluto in Virgo, and we're going to talk about Virgo, but Pluto in Virgo, this generation, we're talking about October, around the 10th or 12th, somewhere in there, of 1956, going to like October 3rd, 4th. You'd have to check the birth chart to basically October to October and 56 to 1971. And then it went into Libra, retrograded, and went back into Virgo for a couple of months in 72. So that'd be very specific to your birth chart for those 3 or 4 months. But basically 56 to 71. I mean, this is a deep time. We have Vietnam War. We have civil rights movement. We have women's suffrage. We have the forming of the labor unions. Okay, we have the whole hippie dichotomy, right? Rebelling against the war, bringing in tremendous change. We have the FBI, CIA, the government, right? Doing secret stuff. And we have the assassinations, okay, that went down with the 4 horsemen, as I call them, JFK, Malcolm X, Martin Luther King, and RFK, along with a bunch of Black Panthers and other people as well. This time in our world and society brought in sort of deeper meditation, tapping into astrology, being a vegetarian, a vegan, really rebelling, protesting against the government and for just civil rights, right? The fight, the March on Washington, the fight to not have dogs and water hoses sprayed on you, as a black person in America. We had these bigger than life figures with, like I said, the four horsemen, JFK, RFK, Malcolm X, Martin Luther King, but Huey P. Newton, the Black Panthers, bringing in acupuncture, right? The children's food program, feeding them in schools in the morning. This was a time where stuff was moving and shaking and happening. We had the Loving case, I think in 67 or 68, where it was just became legal for interracial marriages in the United States of America. Kind of crazy, right? So Pluto in Virgo is very important. This generation really changed everything. All right. Yes, most of this is Generation X, underrated, but a great generation. Virgo is the ruler of the sixth house, Virgo the Virgin, Mercury, right? Grounded Earth, but it's more analytical and practical, and it's about assessing and making things better, dealing with your health, your hygiene, that hardcore work ethic, right? Dealing with, this was a big time for, taking care of animals and veterinarians, and thinking about the rights of animals. Sixth house rules small pets, also divorce, which increased during this time and was starting to become, I don't want to say a social norm, but you were seeing this movement towards this where, and it really plays out in Pluto and Libra, where women were really getting more rights and finding a deeper voice and being acknowledged and respected more. But from 56 to 71, Pluto and Virgo itself still, remember, if you look at that glyph, right? And you got to get your birth chart done so you can understand this. And then know where Pluto is in the houses. So you hit me up, right? Please ring the bell, subscribe down below. But hit me up at tailor2coaching@gmail.com to get your birth chart done. You book your services, we break it down. Because what Pluto is asking you to do in this generation is to make changes, let go and let God, transform, heal through your trauma and crises. Okay? This is also viruses. Pluto rules virus, Neptune disease. Okay? During this time, they started poisoning the foods more. You had Agent Orange, you had chemicals, you had, developments in technology that were, starting to get more canned goods. All this stuff was going on. Pluto and Virgo. Now remember, Virgo is pure. And when I talked about the glyph, that's like the design of Virgo. It's like an M, but it's this very similar to Scorpio. In old ancient astrology and I guess Greek mythology, and you think about Hades and the underworld and, sex and kidnapping and all this stuff, Virgo and Scorpio were merged together and Libra came in to separate it, bring the balance the chart, everything, okay? So the reason why I want to start with Pluto and Virgo is because I know a lot of my clients have been Pluto Virgo, Pluto Libra, a couple of Pluto Leos, even had a Pluto in Cancer, but a lot of Pluto and Scorpios and now Sagittarius, okay? And I joke, and I hope nobody ever gets offended. That's not my idea to ever offend anybody, but I've got these different E-isms and Gemini is the verbal slut. I call Scorpio emotional punks. Now, there's truth to both of them. And you're not just a verbal slut, Gemini and Scorpio. You're not just an emotional punk. But yes, Scorpio is very sensitive. And so is the Pluto and Scorpio generation, who went through a lot of trauma and crises, right? Now, it's believed in astrology that the Pluto and Leo generation, which would be grandparents for most of the Pluto and Scorpios, but fixed fire to fix water, is supposed to guide and help heal them transform through their traumas and crises. I don't think it's happening. So you got to go to your uncles, to Uncle Eric. Pluto and Virgo, especially those who've really gone through the trauma and crises, which your boy has, both my parents being shot, my father being murdered, my mother surviving, being shot in the head, breast cancer, brain cancer, UTI, now, all this stuff, intubated 3 times in the last year and a half, or 2 years. And thank God, still surviving dementia to this day, right? And for those who've been watching or know me, right, a couple of weeks ago, I literally, when on the 20th, that whole January 20th, and I'm going to do that chart. It's just emotional for me. But the Mars and Taurus and Uranus and Mars and Taurus was on, the way it hit on January 20th, it basically literally hit her chart, and I had to do the Heimlich and save her life, and she had to go to the hospital and be intubated. Pluto and Virgo is about health and hygiene. And depending on where it is in your chart, what house, you have to understand this generation is about finding the sense of purity because they know the darkness, right? They respect it, they understand it, but they strive for that perfection. But because Virgo is so analytical, critical, self-critical, and wants to make things better, they have to learn how to, this generation, do that within first. Now, unfortunately, a lot of my counterparts in this generation haven't done that work because it was so ingrained in this generation to work hard, high school, college, get the degree, the diploma, then go out to the work world and achieve. And then you'll have the house and the car and this and that their focus was outwards on capitalism and not as much on self, knowledge of self, and introspection. Now, it doesn't mean that you don't have some extremely powerful, deep people in this time, especially those in that little period. I think it was when, I think it's Uranus and Pluto. You've got some deep healers around that 65 to 68, 69. I guess it spills, over, and maybe it's earlier. I haven't checked the exact dates, but that conjunction, and it depends on your whole chart, but a lot of those people are psychics, astrologers, Reiki masters. I mean, just some amazing, deep spiritual healers. But even the energy of having that Neptune and Scorpio, the Pluto, Virgo, Uranus, Libra, Neptune, Scorpio, which I have, very, very deep karmic placements. And, because of the house placements and because of my life experiences, it made me extremely introspective, which is part of my relationship coaching program to really help heal you, okay? Because I did the work for myself, right? In human design, I'm a 1-3 generator. That makes me the mad scientist. So that means I have to experience it myself, see if it works, and then I can share it and teach it to the world. And I've done that. And that's part of my coaching program. for chronic illness coaching, relationship coaching. But Pluto and Virgo, the problem is, and this is with the Virgo, the opposite polarity of Pisces, it's so logical that it doesn't know how to really be spiritual, right? It's more spiritual in its efforts and its work, right? Wanting the righteous, just, correct, honorable thing that's respected, manners, like all these proper things that are sort of pure in a Virgo, but it's kind of like in detriment, like how Venus is in Virgo, right? It's working so hard that it doesn't know how to sometimes just kind of look within, meditate, breathe, have deep water faith, which I always talk about. Everybody knows me with my sports, deep water faith, baby. Go Bucks. Buccaneers won a Super Bowl, like I predicted. And so, that ability to do that gives you the freedom to heal through your pain, trauma, and crises and transform. Virgos and Pluto love power, but they also love purpose. And a lot of their purpose is working and achieving. And so then they kind of forget about looking within to fix their heart, their soul, their spiritual man. But when you guys decide to do this, and I try to implore my friends and my counterparts and people born 70, 71 and mid 60s, cousins, family, friends that I know, even my sister, I try to tell them, the more that you take the time to pause, slow down, get in that opposite polarity of the 6th house, go to the 12th house of Pisces and deal with your dreams, your subconscious, the unconscious, spirituality. When you really do that, you heal yourself, so then you can sort of elevate. And this generation gets to a place where they have true peace, and then they're not slaves to the system and capitalism and all that. And it's really, what you think about what I think Malcolm X and JFK and RFK and Martin Luther King were really, and especially Huey P. Newton, were really pushing and fighting for. More than just equal rights and human rights and civil rights, it was about the overall spiritual connection of humanity. Exactly, right? Not going to Vietnam to kill innocent people, not fighting these endless wars, right? Korea War wrapping up, and these wars for the government to just take over land and get opium and drugs and stuff like that. This is a deep, deep time period and generation. And now you guys are turning 50, you're in your 50s, some of you in your early 60s. And so if you haven't already worked on not just your spiritual man, but really focusing on your health, then you're gonna have a rough time in the 70s and 80s and might not make it there, right? You have to drink your water. You have to read ingredients and see how they've been poisoning us with dish soap and toothpaste, right? This is about being organic and vegan. This was started back then. And so now this generation that they're sort of heading towards their second Saturn returns, or some have already gone through it. You've got to sort of master, the karmic calling of the Pluto and Virgo. These people can be so brilliant, so maniacal, so manipulating. And then they can be like a virgin, an angel, right? A spirit that's like sent from heaven. It's deep. Like they're so, this generation can be so beautiful and so ugly at the same time. And it's all about how you were dealing with the transformation in your own life and the willingness to change. But unfortunately, so many got caught up in the rat race and all they developed was their wallets. Right? Where the generation before, Pluto and Leo, it was all about, creativity and limelights and, film and movie stars and everybody wants to be this and that. But it was more about me. It was still from the heart, but it was a little bit more shallow and selfish. And we'll get to Pluto and Leo. Pluto and Virgo is sometimes too controlling and obsessed with ideals, being idealistic, which makes them sort of like Pisces, very unrealistic. It's not that when they stop and really think and really slow down that they can't, well, a lot of them can't see the truth because they've been so brainwashed and conditioned by the system. Because remember, with this generation, the brainwashing got to its peak because of the formulation of the media and the television. It got very perfect in the storytelling and providing you the meals, right? This generation, when they were in their teens and early 20s, you had more than channel 2, 4, 7, 9, and 11. CBS, ABC, NBC, and PBS. You started to get HBO, MTV. I used to love Video Music Box, MTV Raps, Now, obviously, that's during the Pluto and Libra generation, all right? But everything was formulating from Pluto and Virgo and how they formed and grew up, their influences. They're not virgins. They are time shifters. Some of the greatest spiritual healers in the world. This generation is asking you and telling you, especially depending on the house placement, where you represent trauma and crises, where you bring it, where there's separation, divides, power struggles. Could be a lot of issues with their health in the 6th house. In the 11th house, it could be, going through trauma crises and pain and transformation and sex with your friends and groups and organizations. Your 3rd house, your mom, your siblings, the school system, your education. This is why you got to get the whole chart done. I mean, this is this generation. This is my generation. and we're the generation of hip hop, Bob Marley, and all of it. It's deep. All the founders, right? From Kool Herc to Karis One to Dougie Fresh to Melly Mel, Grandmaster Caz, everybody, this generation, hip hop. It's Pluto and Virgo. They love money. And this is really one of the last generations. Pluto and Libra, they have it. It's in a different form, but Pluto and Virgo, that grind of working hard, like endless, that's this generation. Putting in like a 16-hour workday, like it's nothing. And this is why Pluto and Virgo is called to help Pluto and Scorpio, where Pluto and Leo is not. And I'll talk about it more in the Pluto and Scorpio video because it's more about them. But Pluto and Virgo, a lot of you have got that sort of assignment or mission to help Pluto and Scorpio. I do it in my relationship coaching and my birth charts and stuff. But a lot of Pluto and Scorpios are not ready. They will be, but a lot are not ready. And it takes a Pluto and Virgo to understand them and speak to them the right way, to challenge them but not attack them, to inspire them but not hate on them. Two sides of the coin, the light and the dark, Pluto and Scorpio. Virgo and Scorpio. Very similar. Pluto and Virgo, they can have some psychological issues. But they can also heal themselves with their mind and their words, their mentality, the way they can birth things into existence. Pluto and Virgo, you can heal yourself with a mind shift. That's one of the gifts you have. That's beautiful and pure and just so deep. And then you can be so dark. Make the right choice. All right? I choose God. I choose the light. They, Pluto and Virgo, I've seen it with just friends and, I remember growing up and different people, man, yeah. Pluto and Virgo, the sensual, sexual nature, they wild, man. I could have done this video in like the dark with a light hanging down like in an alley. It's like, they can be nasty freaks. Remember, this is, in some ways, I don't want to say prostitution, but the Pluto and Virgo, that time, all that stuff was, formulating in the way, that whole pimp hoe thing. Right? Pornography, all that stuff. Virgo is, it's earth. It's very grounded. So if Pluto's at home in Scorpio, then Pluto in Taurus, it's, kind of in detriment. Pluto in Virgo, you have to rise up. You have to help Pluto in Scorpio challenge and educate Pluto in Sag. And a lot of your children are Pluto in Sag or Pluto in Capricorn. So you have a great responsibility with them too. Understand your dreams, research. Ask yourself, who am I? Who are you? Pluto in Virgo, it's time. This is your last time. Time's running out. So it's very important to get it right now in 2021. And you need to do it before Pluto gets to Aquarius, 2024. Clock is ticking. Get your mind right, get your health right, get your body right, get your soul right, get your spirit right, get your children right, your nieces, your nephews, your younger counterparts. They might not want to listen, but you have to still drop jewels. And Pluto and Scorpios, keep coming to me. Being a Scorpio rising, a Capricorn moon, and a Virgo sun with Pluto in Virgo, Mercury in Virgo, Mars in Virgo, Lilith, Black Moon Lilith in Virgo. I know how to talk to you. I know how to help you. I know how to heal you. I'm the human and the astrologer for you. And I want to help because I understand the pain, the trauma, and crises. And remember, you guys, sometimes Pluto and Scorpio, you think you're the only ones that went through it. No, Pluto and Virgo, they went through it. Pluto and Libra is a lot easier. Pluto and Virgo went through some shiz because their childhoods were no piece of cake. 56 to 71. The world was like in upheaval. I mean, from assassinations to people being killed to water fountains and racism and this and that and education, all of this stuff. Pluto and Virgo, you are going to be okay. Hopefully you already are okay. But to ascend and do what you need to do, you've got to spend that time in isolation, in dreams, in subconscious, in spirituality so you can heal. Stop being slaves to the system, right? Pluto's the government, the shadow government, the FBI, CIA. The manipulation and control, that thirst for power, let it go. That's not your salvation. Letting go is your freedom and salvation. Submit, be humble. Who cares about your wallet? Get right with God. Get that self-love. Demand better from yourself, for yourself, to yourself, of yourself. time is now, Pluto and Virgo. Okay? And, don't be so critical of yourself. This generation's very critical of themselves. But Pluto and Virgo, they like to party and have fun. They will shut it down and set it off, you know what I'm saying? I say a hip, hop, a hippity, it's like, come on, righteousness. But, Pluto and Virgo, this is, yeah, that's deep. I'm talking to y'all, but I'm talking to me at the same time. That's why I have to dispense language in a rhyme. Sometimes introductions are kicked in a rhyme. And mentally my mind always shines. Pluto and Virgo, it's time to let go of the grind. I'm not telling you to stop working hard. I'm telling you to give some time to self-love and God. All right? And respect and honor women and your children and children of the world. We've got to fight for the clean water and clean food and chemical-free products. That's part of your assignment in Pluto and Virgo. Purify things. Don't add to the chemicals and poisons because you want the dollar and that power. Find balance. Find the light and the dark and balance it so then you can transform and evolve. So you can be the positive part of this generation. All right, Pluto and Virgo. I think I talked your ears off enough. Next up, you comment down below. I mean, it's either, Leo, Libra, or Scorpio. But I'm not doing it in any type of order. I've been kind of getting downloads and dreams about it. And you see, I started my Uranus and Neptune series already. And I'll get back to those. But I wanted to finally begin Pluto and start with my placement, Pluto and Virgo. Very important, Gen X, and very important generation. I just turned 50, so I know. All right, Pluto and Virgo. I'm at the end of the generation. I'm a puppy, I know my OGs. But this is the last generation, truly. And partially Pluto and Libra, right? Which goes from like 71, 72 to, I think it was 83. And then Pluto and Scorpio, I think it's like more 83-ish, 84 to 95. Pluto and Virgo, heal, transform. Don't inject and bring your trauma and crises wherever you go. If you're doing that, it's because you haven't evolved, transformed, and changed. You should be learning, growing, and changing, right? Go from the Scorpion to the Phoenix rising. You should be soaring like an eagle now. So go get your eagle on. All right? Thank you, Pluto and Virgo. God bless. Hit your boy up, Eric Taylor, Taylor to You Coaching. Check out taylor2coaching.com. Check out the social media at BigEAstrology and at Taylor2C. Join my Patron family. All right? And I'll get stuff going soon on Clubhouse. I'm busy. I'm really working on a lot, but I'm going to get stuff going there. I'm there. All right? Eric Taylor, Taylor to You Coaching. I'm there. But I also don't have time to waste with just silly conversations. All right. But hit me up. Ask some questions. Comment down below. I don't bite. I'm a real friendly guy. But I have a serious assignment. And it's about helping and healing and transforming people to be their best selves and increase their self-love. I take Pluto and Virgo serious. All right? Eric Taylor, Taylor 2 Coaching. Peace. Bye-bye. And I don't mean to be depressing. Pluto and Virgo, they like to have fun. They love to have sex. They like to get... I don't do that, but Pluto and Virgo likes to partay. And God knows I used to party. Hizard. Alright? Oh, and just don't be, get to the theta and beta. If you know, then you know. Get your chakras right. Your Pluto and Virgo